Morning, everybody. A little bit of a debrief of Darwin, where we had a couple of success. So, question from Mitch: have you managed to whip the smile of Pete Face yet? No, I'm not intending to, and it will happen. Unfortunately, the nature of our work is that we can't perform always at the highest level, and our team is not yet a top 5 finisher. We are trying to, we are working hard at it, but it's not where we are. I see us between the 5-10, and so yes, we'll try to keep the smile up, but it's not going to be an easy one. Thank you. How did our race strategy play out in terms of tire management, pit stop, and fuel consumption? Well, the thing is we didn't have to put fuel in. Fuel consumption is not very much of an issue in these cars. In terms of tire strategy, we elected to put 2 tires on Jimmy. He was quite happy with his car. The fact for us at this stage, at this point in time, we are not the best team in terms of pit stop. We are working at it. It's difficult. We haven't got a great number of people to choose from, and we've got to train them better, and they are working very hard, but it will take time. It's like performance of the car, which means we are not able to do the same pit stop as the others or the top team, which means when we do 2 tires, we gain back a bit of time and we protect a position for Jimmy. And that's where basically where we wanted to put 4 tires would have been better, but we would have lost a couple of spots. We would have had to try to make back. Sometimes it's too difficult, so we preferred in terms of strategy to look at our strength, the car last and keep his tires, so we don't have to put 4 tires. Hope that helps. Okay, I want to know why Finney didn't get a penalty in Saturday race for hitting Jimmy and running him wide. That's a good question. Sometimes some overtaking are borderline. We actually went with Jimmy and see the DRS, race director, and tried to understand what was, and I agree probably with the ruling. There is an old ruling which speaks about the B pillar, which means you own the corner as soon as you've overlapped the car in front of you. That's true if you can still make the corner. You can't just get there and push the guys completely wide. Finney was probably on the borderline of being legally in that position and still rotating. However, he did hit. I think we've got to agree that we allow the car to hit each other, because if we don't, we are going to have very boring racing. Not that we like the hit, but it happens because the cars are wide and the track are quite narrow, and sometimes to overtake it's bloody difficult. So I don't think there was a need for a penalty there. We could have probably closed a little bit more the door, which then would have forced Finney to hit the rear of the car, and that's not allowed. So there's an example during the race, I think, where Cam Waters hit the back of the car and not spin, but pushed wide. You can't hit the back of the car. You've got to be past the B pillar really to have a contact with the driver and making the overtake. I think somebody else did that at turn 1. So that's how I see it. So I think it's quite clear, and there is a limit. It's always going to happen. I remember Jamie in 2016 hit Scotty when he was at JRM, and that was at Bathurst in the chicane, and pushed him in the grass. He had actually gone all the way to pass the B pillar, but couldn't control his car, and pushed Scotty in the grass, and that was deemed a penalty, and that's what probably didn't happen this time. Yes, there is contact, but by the same token, Jimmy was not pushed off the track. You know what I'm saying? Even if he lost another spot to Winterbottom, that's the nature of what we do and the racing we do. So that's how I see it. Hope that helped the explanation. Peter, strategy cost Jimmy a podium on Saturday in the pit stop. Yes, probably, but you can only play with the tools you've got. And I'll go back to the pit stop. We are yet not the best performing team in pit stop. And at some stage, and the positioning in the pit lane is not the easiest. We are very close. We were very close on the weekend to the entry, which means we've got very little time to react and think. We've got to choose the time we are going to pit to not be with all the people around, if possible. And that put pressure on the pit stop. It doesn't make it easier, and that's probably why sometimes it looked like we are losing during pit stop. And yes, we do lose time because we are not, changing the tires as quicker or rejoining because of the position in pit lane. So you could say we lost a podium there. I would say we just have the team have to improve our performance, wherever it's car performance or pit stop performance. Daniel, how was the car handled in Darwin condition? Were there any noticeable issue with the car setup, handling, or performance that need to be addressed before the next round? Difficult question. There is always issue with the handling. There is no perfect car, and until you get to win the races consistently and be on pole, even Triple Eight today, which is a very dominant team, wasn't on pole all weekend. So what I'm saying, there is always something to do better. On Jimmy's car, I would think the handling was pretty good. He was very happy with the way the car behaved. It's the way, I think we've got something we can work now on, where there's a couple of lines, over the races, they are different track, they require different setup. But there's a couple of setup where you can feel the driver feels good, feel happy, can drive fast. And maybe we found something there for Jimmy. I'm still hunting with a team to try to find. We've had to swap a bit too much. We haven't had the consistency we want. I mean, we get to the top 10, but again, we pay some price sometimes with a pit stop. It doesn't help because you get backward 3 or 4 spots and fresher tire, but then you can't overtake, etc. So Jimmy, we found a couple of lines. Hopefully that's going to be enough to get us more consistent, and then the consistency will highlight when we do good and when we do bad. When you're inconsistent, you highlight nothing. You don't know. You're in the vague area. You can't draw a line. So I think we've drawn a line. That's good. We need to do the same with team now, and then from there progress slowly and try to find these little 10 again and performance through the races. Ludo, from an outside perspective, it seems like you're beginning to make a significant impact on the team. Are you satisfied with the result we've achieved so far? I don't like to speak about myself, and I don't think the team is about myself. Romy pointed out, funnily enough, in one of our posts, that we are 3 engineers, 3 permanent engineers. Actually, we've just got a new engineer started this week, which is good because that's going to help us, do more little bits and pieces. What we start to see is what we call consistency. And consistency, it comes from a group of people which know how to work together. That's from the driver, the data, and the race engineer, and the team together. And so we just, we probably changed 50% of the people at the team end of last year, myself coming in. And all of a sudden, to gel that race team, you need a bit of time. And we are probably slowly making some basic progress and putting some cornerstones and starting to have an infrastructure, you know what I'm saying? We probably don't have the full roof covered, etc. There's still some leaks here and there, but we are building. And I don't think it's about me. but it's about the people working together, understanding how we work, and being honest, and having all this sort of attitude which make for a better team. And it's true in every sort of working environment or competitive environment. You put a group of people together, it can't just work on the day. It needs a bit of time to understand who is doing what, how it's doing, etc. So I think we are on the way up. We need to keep, people keep saying working hard. We need to keep working clever. Out of 24 hours in the day, you cannot ask people to do more than 10 consistently and performing well. So it's all about efficiency, time spent at doing the right thing and once. And if you do that often, you're on a good way forward. Thank you very much, and see you next time after Townsville.